All right, that's recording. All right, quick word from the sponsors. FIFO by Aaron Weston, a hilarious novel about all the dodgy stuff that happens up in the FIFO industry. In August, so next month, FIFO number 2 is going to be released, so keep an eye out for that. That's a bloody awesome book. All right, for the kids. And that's available at Aaron Weston Author on Instagram and under on Facebook as well. Just click on the shop now buttons or the links in there and grab yourself a copy. For the kids, under Children's Books by Aaron White on Facebook. You got Australian Mining Machines, Australian Firefighters, Australian Surf Lifesavers, Australian Police Vehicles, Australian Paramedics, Mining Machines Colouring In Book, Australian Defence Force Machines. Again, all available at Children's Books by Aaron White on Facebook. Just click on the shop now button. I'll get the order so I can sign them for your kids and make it personalised for you. All right, we'll get into the show. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Aaron White Show. Today, we have a fantastic guest, Sam. Sam is a founder of a brand called Better Than Before. Welcome to the show.
Hey, mate, how are you going?
Fantastic, thanks. I thought founder would sound good, or CEO, whatever you want to
I'll take it. I'm pumped for that, to be honest. Like, it's something that I'm hugely proud of, and it's one of those things I don't know. Do I use it? Do I not use it? But yeah, I'm pumped. Yeah, I love it.
Sweet ass. All right, let's jump into it. Ask the first question. Hey, basically, can you just tell me your story, like how and where you grew up, any life-changing events, and how you end up doing what you're doing today?
Okay, cool. So, yeah, my name's Sam Ringdale. I grew up in Christchurch, Canterbury, in the South Island of New Zealand. And then I kind of went to school there till about 17, 18 years old. And from there, I went into the Royal New Zealand Navy. And yeah, that definitely taught me some awesome, valuable lessons in my life and helped mold me to, I guess, the man that I am today. And then going from there, I signed up with one of my best friends and we went in together, and he sort of wanted to pull pin early on and I talked him out of it. And then, yeah, what happened from there is I ended up leaving, and to this day, he's still there. So he stayed up in Auckland, and then, yeah, I moved back down to Christchurch to be with my family. And then Dad just reached out and sort of got me an opportunity because it came down to the sort of the old who you know, not what you know scenario. So I started cutting steel and putting big plates of steel on a plasma machine, setting it all up, and it would go through and cut bits and pieces out. And then from there, I'm someone that I guess is never wanted to be, using my hands too much, getting too dirty. I'd rather, get stuck in and like have conversations. And I think that's something that I found out pretty early. In the back of my mind, I guess I always had that dream as such as becoming an account manager. And yeah, having dealing with people every day, like the company car and all that sort of thing. So that was kind of my goal. It wasn't ambitious as such or anything. And then, so I got an opportunity about 17 years old. Someone gave me a chance to move into customer service. And then that sort of opened up that door as, working on the computer, talking to customers and that sort of thing. So that's something that I loved. And I wasn't, I always wanted to travel. So then I did that for a few years, probably till I was about 21, 22. Went over and done a bit of an OE, probably prioritized alcohol, partying and having a good time. I absolutely loved it. And that's something that I've done my whole life. I've always been, just, I guess, the man about town and want to be, out there partying and things, which was great, And then from there, I wanted to make that transition. So I went overseas, I came back, and then I got an opportunity, my mate, going into customer service again. And he sort of pitched it to me that, there could be an opportunity to go into that account management style of role. And then from there, nothing sort of came of it. And then I went to my cousin started a ventilation and heating company. So I went over there, and they have really, really great sales structures. And, it's all about creating opportunities because you can make more money through, on selling bits and pieces. So, that gave me an opportunity, and I really took that with both hands and probably did really well at it. And so I was probably one of the top two revenue drivers in the company in a matter of like 6 months because I just sort of picked it up. I feel as though I'm a caring, compassionate person that can sort of get on well with anybody and just have a conversation, find that common bond between, two people. That went really well. And then things started to change, and there was a bit of a restructure. And so I kind of moved out. I was like, okay, what's the next step? And someone else bought the business out, and then they sort of said, "Oh, we're having a bit of a restructure. Things are changing. This is what it's going to look like for you." I went back to the car, and I've got a really great relationship with my father, and I called him and I said, "Oh, look, Dad, like, I'm not really keen for what they're trying to pitch to me." And he's like, "Well, it's up to you." So even without having too much thought, I just went back and said, "Hey, thanks very much for the opportunity. It's not for me." So I didn't know what was going to come next, and then it was leading into Christmas, and I was kind of like, geez, this is not the greatest time to be having no job. So Dad sort of helped me out a wee bit. And then through that time, one of my best mates, Shay, he was an exterior plasterer, and said, "Look, over Christmas and New Year's, if you sort of want a job, you can come along and, I'll give you an opportunity." And, it was, he's like, "I can't pay you bugger all," but I was like, "Hey, it's just something like I really appreciate it." And, to this day, I'm appreciative of that opportunity. So I got through Christmas and I was like, "Right, Sam, you need to sort your shit out basically and look for something else." And, I've always loved that team environment. I've always loved being a part of something really special. And then there was an opportunity as I was scrolling through Seek at Red Bull as an account manager or territory manager. And that to me just like stuck out. And I was like, this is what I want. This is 100% what I want. I didn't have that in. I didn't know anybody there. And basically I was like, right, I'm going to do my absolute best. And it's a huge process to go through to work for a brand like that. And as you can probably see behind me, it's something that, I'm very proud of. They've given me an opportunity and helped mold me to where I'm at. But basically I think it was like 7 steps, and each step I was getting more and more excited. At the start, probably doubted myself, but I just try to continuously put my best foot forward. And then that opportunity came down. It was, there was only one role. There was 2 of us left. I had done some stupid things in the past, like drink driving and common assault and things. And I'd learned lessons. I've never really been a bad kid or anything. And then, so I just pitched them and said, "Hey, look, this is who I am. I'm completely transparent. I'm completely honest. But, if you give me this opportunity, I guarantee I'll repay this faith. I'm the most, caring person. And when given an opportunity, I seem to have been, I've delivered on my, deliver to a standard." And so then they actually split it and had 2 roles. So then I got given that opportunity, and that kind of just opened up a huge world to me. And then within that, I've got to go do some pretty cool things, like go out for a hot lap with Shane Van Gisbergen. Like that was an internal competition and things like that. And through working at that business, they're huge. Like onboarding, you do a thing called Strengths Finder, which to me, I always thought it was just one of these stupid things that, to try and get you to buy into the culture, which was great. And then once I did it, it probably took about an hour and a half. And when it came back, that competition was my number one strength. And like self-assurance and things. I was just blown away how much that this thing actually told me about me. And I was like, that is me. So that was cool, learning a little bit about that. I was there for about 18 months, looking for the next opportunity. And, I'd won one of the awards I won while I was there was like the Rising Bull or something like that at the end of the year. And it just through, living the Red Bull standards and, always emptying the tank and all that sort of thing. So that was really cool, something I was really proud of. And then from there, my mate was the athlete manager there, and he'd moved on to Under Armour, and he kind of reached out to me when I was looking for something else. And I'd applied for the regional sales manager's role. I still probably wasn't giving everything, and I probably let myself down because I was still, enjoying the partying, and they probably saw that I was still a little bit immature when it came to that sort of thing. So my mate got the job. Absolutely, he deserved it. He'd worked hard for it. So they were really blown away by, how I'd prepared myself, and said, we do, you're putting the effort in. There will be an opportunity here at some stage. And I was sort of waiting around, and then that my mate reached out to me at Under Armour and said, "Hey, there's a job here." And for me, apparel was something I'm hugely passionate about. I just have that mantra of look good, feel good. I don't think I'm hugely attractive or anything. So if I can dress myself up a little bit and make myself look a little bit more sparkly, then it just helps out a little bit. So yeah, I got an opportunity there, and then I was there for the last sort of 18 months. I was learning a lot. It was awesome to go from such a big global brand to another one, but because it was a distributor model, I was reporting directly into the general manager and that sort of thing. So that was huge. I'm, learning about how to sell a t-shirt and what goes into the retail game and all that sort of thing too. So that was pretty cool. And then looking after some really big accounts nationally and things. So that, opened up a world of opportunity for me too. And then from there, one of my customers reached out to me and said he's looking at trying to scale his business up. And he's looking for somebody in Auckland and around uniforms and branding and things like that. And to me, I was like, this makes sense because eventually I want to, have my own brand and things. And I'd already made that decision about Better Than Before and things anyway. And then I sort of like, okay, I'm a true believer that everything happens for a reason. And that sort of came up into me. I saw it for what it was and taking that opportunity. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I work 9 to 5 sort of thing for this business. I'm doing branding. But outside of that, I'm just trying to empty the tank, I guess. But sort of going back to how, the brand has sort of come to life. It's still only early days. It's only like 3 months into this journey. But for me, I've not long had a son, which definitely helped. But because of that self-assurance and that self-belief in myself, I feel as though I feel as though I've done quite well. I got to that stage, I've made the account management role. I was working for an amazing brand, created some great opportunities for myself. But then I started like doubting myself and thinking, well, is this enough for me? And asking those questions, and then waking up hungover and things and just being in regret mode. Like I generally train quite hard during the week. I was, weighing my foods, doing this, and then I'd be blowing out in the weekend. So it was like, it was time to stand up. And I'd picked up meditation and I'd read a book and that sort of thing. Then I fully committed to that. And that changed my life, seriously changed my life. And then I decided one day, I looked myself in the mirror and said, okay, what do you want? Do you want to be known as the guy that's just half-assing it, being reasonably happy? Or do I want to actually dial down what are my values? What do I want out of life? And just go for it. So I made that decision to draw the line in the sand. And I said to myself, just to put something in place, I said, I'm not going to drink for the next 12 months. My son's going to be born in the next few months. Let's commit to this. Because I'd always say, I'm not drinking for the next week or whatever, and, commit for X amount of time, but never, something that is far more impactful. And I said, we'll see how it goes. And once we get to the 12 months, we'll reassess it. So I got to that. I've now just not long gone over 6 months. And for me, giving up cigarettes, giving up alcohol, drugs, all that sort of thing as well. I still love that, but it was time for me. Like I wanted to create a legacy for myself. I wanted to, like I said, touched on earlier, I'm a caring, compassionate person that actually cares and wants to make a difference in this world. I just felt I needed to back myself. I've got more to offer, and I'm in New Zealand, and I don't know how bad it is in Australia, but you got the tall poppy syndrome. So it was something I was worried about. People will want to chop me down for it. People will be laughing at me, but I decided through the content that I was listening to, through meditation, that it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. If I can look myself in the mirror and look at me and say that I'm 100% proud of what I see and the man that I'm becoming, and if I can give everything and put myself first and foremost, then it's like a pyramid effect. My son and my partner and family sit underneath that. They'll get the best of me. So that's really important to me. And then it was just building out what my ideal version of happiness looks like, and then saying, okay, I've worked for these big brands. I feel as though I've got something to offer. So no, why not create my brand? Okay, this is what it's going to be about. I kind of looked at the journey that I was on, and I feel every day I was becoming better, and then sort of Better Than Before was born. And then I was like, okay, it's not credible. No one's going to believe in me. So I need to continue this. I need to start documenting that journey on, every day I'm out there, I'm upskilling, I'm listening to podcasts, I'm reading books, I'm training hard, I'm putting the right nutrition in my body. So at this stage, like I'm down sort of 15 kilos to start the year off, haven't had a drop of alcohol. I've fully committed to myself. And through this journey, I've only got sort of between over all platforms, maybe 7,000 or 8,000 people that have jumped on board. Some of them will be across both platforms and whatnot. And then I just said, I'm just going to go out and just start adding value every day and showing people and shooting shots, creating opportunities for myself and making things happen and not worrying about it. So I've been, reaching out to a lot of people, and even this podcast to me, this is a huge milestone moment for me because this is something that I've wanted to do. And through my actions, you've reached out to me now, and I'm stoked. Like every day I'm having euphoric feelings of what's happening in my life. And for me, when that first person reached out to me and said, Sam, you're inspiring me, you're helping me change my life, I can't express what that means to me. And like, yes, I want to end up monetizing this and turning it into a business, but I want to end up funding it so it's impacting people's lives. And I feel, and it was a hard road for me to draw that line in the sand to say, hey, you need to take something back. Like my mates were having a laugh at me saying, you're giving so much, you can't give everything away. And I was like, well, you want to bet? I can. But yeah, I want to create my legacy. I want to be known as someone that's, gave as much as he could, took his little bit that he needed. And I'm trying to build. The one thing I don't have in my life right now that I really, really, really want is I want my own business, and I want to be getting up every day to have these conversations, to go out, to film content around changing people's lives and bringing exposure. And culture through working with these big brands is such a huge thing. And if you tell a really great story, people will get on board and it will help change lives. And I think that, I'm going to have products like I say, I do want to have hoodies and things, but it's something that people can wear every day. That is, it's a reminder. So it's not just a cool t-shirt. It's a reminder. If you put that brand on, I want you to stand up to a standard and be happy with your life and make sure you're conscious of your decision making and that sort of thing. Whether it's you buy a $2 pen and you want to support, well, you use that pen every day to hold yourself accountable to be better than before. So that's probably a little bit wishy-washy, but I guess that's how, and I've got to this point right now, and I'm super pumped for what's to come. And like I say, every day I'm waking up and someone's sending me a message, whether it's somebody I know, whether it's somebody I don't know, without fail. Somebody's jumping on board and willing to commit to themselves. And I'm calling them out saying, I'm so stoked that you've reached out, but now you have to fully commit to yourself. You don't send me a message if you're going to half-ass it. And I mean, I'm going to be there to support. Send me messages. It's over the last week. One piece of content for me has changed my life seriously, because it's given me it's not about the following or the likes. What it's done is it's brought exposure to what this brand stands for and its values. And the mission is to better 1 million lives. So, that's what this journey is about. I'm myself winning. Like I say, I can look at myself in the mirror. There's always going to be positive and negative. And yes, I love the positive, but I'm still grateful for the negative because it helps me grow and helps me evolve. And everyone deserves an opinion and a right to speak and, and what they believe in, whether that's right or wrong. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at now.
What's that one piece of content that you just mentioned?
So that one piece of content, so I went out of my way, as you can probably see behind me, footy or any sport, I've always picked up sport. It's something I'm hugely passionate, and I guess it comes back to that whole culture and, environment and things. And that's what I'm trying to create. But basically I had a Blues jersey. I support Canterbury, so it was no good to me, but in perfect timing because I've obviously just won the Australasian competition. They were firing. And I've just wanted to start doing random acts of kindness and documenting that journey. So I've been doing a few of them, probably because my editing skills weren't the greatest, and it's all about kind of hooking, grabbing that attention early. And I was just posting content and hoping for the best. So I was upskilling myself, learning more about content and how to tell a great story and whatnot. So I just I upgraded my audio because audio is such an important piece as well. And then my friend said he would come and help me out. And then I just said, what I want to do is I just want to rock up to someone and be like, hey, you dropped this, and sort of see what reaction I get. You dropped this while they're walking away or whatever. And then, and say to somebody, oh, this is for you. And they're like, oh, it's not mine, sort of thing. And then, so I did 2 that day. One, I had a basketball singlet. Someone reached out and said that they were, wanted to help out my cause. They have a wee business that they have selling basketball singlets, and they knew that I was big on basketball. So I did that to a guy, and that went really well. That got, say, 20,000 views on TikTok, 25,000 views. And then I thought, oh, cool. Well, if that's got that, I've got this Blues jersey, I'll go and commit. I'll do this right now. And then there was this kid that walked past me and he had his rugby jersey. So he just finished rugby, and I was like, right, this is the perfect guy. So I was trying to scramble to get everything ready, and he started walking away. So I started sprinting after him, trying to not make too much noise. And then he was still quite a little bit away. So I just chucked it as close as I possibly could and said, oh, excuse me, you dropped this. And then his dad turned around and was kind of like, oh, thank you. And then they looked and they're like, oh, that's not ours. And then so I just walked over and picked it up and said, hey, mate, this is for you. I want you to use this as something, to kind of chase your dreams and hold yourself every day to be better than before. And it was a real proud moment because he stuck out his hand straight away to shake my hand. So it wasn't his parents popped him and say thank you or anything like that. And it filled me with joy that this kid had, stuck out his hand to shake mine. And His parents were blown away. Yeah, his mum had glasses on, but if you actually look at the video, you can sort of see her reaction. She's kind of like looking around as to like, what's just happened here? And then, yeah, I just said, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create this brand to bring exposure, to create a better culture. So the key pillars that are just short and sharp for me is better you, better me, better culture, every day better than before. So then that piece of content, it just went nuts. And like I've been trying to get, for me, nuts, because it's still not huge. You look at some people on TikTok, they get like over 1 million views. But for me, I had 1,400 people at the time, and that was a grind. It took me 3 months to get there. Then all of a sudden it just went boom. And then it took, I think it got 50 or 60,000 in the first probably 24 to 48 hours. And that to me, I was like, this is awesome. And I was trying to get back to everyone. If their account's not private, I was trying to send them a message to say, thank you so much. You're literally helping me chase my dreams here. It means so much to me. So I got home and I'm doing a challenge at the moment called 75 Hard. So I've got to do like 2 workouts a day. I've got to drink 4 liters of water. I've got to stick to a nutrition plan, no cheat meals. That's the hardest bit. Got to take a progress photo every day. And so I got home. I was like, I need to eat. I just got back from my second workout. I just went for a walk and I opened my phone. It was like 99 notifications on TikTok. And I was like, holy heck. And then so I was like, right, I need to get to work. I need to say thank you to everyone. So I was pounding through it and I was like, right, now I can stop. I can eat. It was probably like 10:30. I still had to read 10 pages of my book as part of this challenge. I was like, right, I need to get this sorted. And then as soon as I got to the top, it just refreshed, and then boom, there was another 99. I was like, I literally actually can't keep up. I know what it's all about now. So I decided then if I'll just make sure that anyone that comments, because there was still probably like 200-300 comments, I'll just comment back to everyone and just say, hey, you're literally like helping me build this brand. It's going to continue to help driving me forward to do more. And I'd had a rough week as well. So I had, I'd had this huge high. I'd had a few things that hadn't gone my way through work just by not getting the balance right, because I've tried to take on so much. And then through that piece of content, it's gone from I filmed it last Saturday, I chucked it out there Sunday, and I think I've got about another 4,000 or 5,000 people on board on TikTok. I've managed to get some of those guys over to Instagram just to try and grow that platform, because what I want to do is any opportunity that kind of comes my way, I want to, push that out. And there's going to be times where if something comes my way and I'm like, okay, this is actually going to add some real value to me to help move forward, yes, I'll take it. But like I won a Warriors jersey and a Warriors prize pack the other day. And so I've got a jersey now. It's like, I love the New Zealand Warriors. They're amazing. But to me, like if I can go out and inspire somebody's life by just giving out that jersey, like I have with the Blues one, I'm going to go and do that. So and it's just about trying to create opportunities and whatnot. So yeah, like I say, that piece of content for me just went nuts, and got a few things that I want to try and execute and try and replicate that, because it's worked. You need to dial down on what works, and people have been sending me messages and now asking more Q&As and some really tough questions coming through. And I don't have all the answers, but what I do have is what's worked for me, and how I've been giving up bits and pieces and fully committing to myself. And I can still, I might know somebody that can help out a little bit more, and that's what it's about, is just trying to connect the dots for people and giving them a safe environment to, come and have a chat.
Do you feel you'll get back on the alcohol and cigarettes and the drugs and stuff, or you're going to be clean? That's you done?
No, that's me done. I think I thought I'd get to that 12 months, and I did think that I'd go back to alcohol. And to be honest, I haven't really thought about the ciggies. Over the 6 months, I went over to Aussie for a trip. I had one cigarette, and it did gut me. Don't get me wrong; it was a poor decision on my behalf, but I'd still come a long way. So it wasn't as impactful as what it sounds, And then because I'd given up alcohol, this is only my belief, but I just think like it's really hard to do so many things at once, So I felt I got the alcohol squared away, and now I've fully committed to, the alcohol and things like that. Also, I like to smoke a little bit of weed and that sort of stuff too. And for me, it was like, right, I've committed to this now. Like, let's take that next step. And so that was the next thing to go. And you don't need to do everything all at once, I believe. But if you consistently just slowly move forward, lay that foundation, lay one brick at a time, and then you get to stand back and you can look at this huge wall that you've created for yourself. So I think people overcommit too much and expect too much right from the word go, but just consistently moving forward is still moving in the right direction. And sometimes you're going to get hit with something and head sideways, but you're still moving. Now I've fully committed to myself. And because of people telling me never to stop and things like that, by me creating this brand, this is a platform that's giving me the opportunity to hold myself accountable. So I don't want to let myself down. I don't want to let my family down, but I don't want to let anyone down that's giving me the time, because it's obviously offering and adding value to their lives. So it's literally helped me out. But through that journey, I did think that, there might be occasions where I go back and drink, but for me to create this brand, I need every ounce of my energy to go into that. So like I've been committing to online courses and things like that at the moment around business, around video content that I've been paying for, because I think if you pay for something, it holds you accountable again. You can get so much free stuff, but I think that you probably take more on board if if it's something that you've paid good money for as well, and you just get those little 1% extras out of doing that. So I probably it was early on, like 2 or 3 months in, and I was just like, yeah, there's no way I'm going back. Like, I need to be able to empty the tank every day. I need to be able to put the right fuels in the body. I don't want to be running this, this petrol car on diesel. Otherwise, it's not going to get to where I need to go. So it's like, if you're going to commit, you got to fully commit. And if you're saying you're fully committed, well, this is what it is. So, and I probably at this stage where alcohol wasn't the hardest. It was just, more the smoking and things like that. That was a little bit more difficult, but I seem to have that under control. I went out last night, and I went to my brother-in-law's party, and had a good time. Everyone was drinking and everyone knew, and you get to a stage and people aren't pushing it on you, where at the start, it's like, oh, the old Sam would have da. But then people understand. You just tell them you're not drinking, and they're real supportive. It was a great environment to be in, had a really good time. And there was times in my mind that, I was like, oh, what if there's a bit of weed there, would I have it or whatever? But through the commitment and stuff like that, I understood that I was starting to feel that way. So I knew, like, because I'm better equipped to deal with what's going on in my mind through meditation and understanding my emotions and things, then that really helped me out to see it for what it was, and just, that it's an urge, it'll pass. Understand what's going on right now. How's it making me feel? It's giving me a little bit of cloudy head. The heart's pumping a little bit, because it's like giving me that little bit of excitement to say, if I was stoned or, wasted, how it would make me feel. But it sort of got past that, and then, I didn't look back. So, you're still going to have those times. There's still going to be difficulties. But if you're better equipped to deal with them, you're going to make the right decision, or if you make a wrong decision, they're going to be less impactful, I feel.
When do you reckon you'll get your gear out, your t-shirts and stuff?
So I'm looking at doing that. Like, for me, I would have loved to have them out. So I actually had a little bit of a setback. So I love that registered trademark logo, and I probably could get in trouble here, but I've kept it on there. I just put it out there. It wasn't to be like trying to safeguard it, because if anyone took it, it is what it is. I'm not going to let anything set me back. But basically, I went to register the couple of trademarks, and then something came back and it was really similar. And then they gave me options to say, oh, you can do this, you can do that. And I was kind of like, well, I don't want an identity that's similar to anything else. I want something unique. So I decided I'm going to change that. And then what happened was I reached out to someone. So my mates just started a podcast, Slow Forward, a guy by the name of Joe Wilding. Amazing podcast. So if you love listening to the podcast, check that out. But yeah, basically he'd just had his logo done, and he'd sort of posted the journey that he went through for that. And I looked at it and I was like, that's dope. Like, I want it to look epic. I'd sort of just played around with it myself and got someone to touch it up a bit. I'd created it basically off YouTube, off Snapchat, and just put the letters together. And quickly just touching on that is like, what I thought of is, I'd been on this huge journey. A butterfly starts off, and goes through this journey and then becomes this beautiful creature. So I kind of put the BTB together to look like a butterfly, because I finally feel as though I'm finding my final form, and I'm really excited. I feel as though it's beautiful, and that's kind of how I put that together. So that's something that I've told the guy that's going to be doing the design that I want to keep, because that's important. But basically, so yeah, I got that back, and he's like, oh, it's going to be, X amount of dollars, like $400. And I was like, because my partner's off work at the moment, I've got a mortgage to pay and that sort of thing. It's like every little bit helps. But for me, I just throw myself in the deep end and hope for the best. So it was like, okay, what am I going to do here? And I just said to the dude, without thinking, I was like, yeah, I'm committed. Let's make it happen. And in the back of my mind, I was like, what have you done? Like what? And then, but with that self-assurance, I was like, okay, cool. It'll happen. It's all good. Then 10 minutes later, I saw a message pop up, and it was kind of like, hey, Sam, I just want to say thank you. And I was like, I'll go check it at lunch. It was close to lunchtime and checked it. And I read the message and it was like, hey, Sam, I just want to say thank you so much for inspiring me. I would love to give you a silent donation of like sort of between $300 and $400. This is 10 minutes later after I'd committed to myself. So it just shows you, if you commit, things will work in your favor. And that blew my mind again. That was another milestone moment for me because it was like you're showing that commitment and then things are just kind of working themselves out. So yeah, I rang the guy straight away and I was like, look, I'd love to take that because like I said earlier, I want to be adding value. I don't want to be, it's hard to draw that line in the sand to, be trying to take and people think that you're a scam. But I had to put that out of my mind. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to ring you. I'm going to tell you, what's going on. So I sort of said to him, hey, look, I'm going to have to rebrand, I need the identity of this brand, because people need something to stand beside and sort of just gave him the lay of the land. And because I thought he might want it to be used as to buy something as a give back so I sort of told him and I just said, to me, that's so important. And if you're a part of that, then that's something that you get to see for the rest of your life, that you actually help make that happen. So he was on board straight away. I'll probably tell a little bit more about that story once the branding's done so I can, do the start to finish. But yeah, that kind of blew me away. And so it was turnaround time of about 10 days. I've heard back from the guy now. He's won graphic design awards too, which is pretty cool. And he sent me some initial concepts, sort of pushed back a wee bit. There was only sort of one there that I kind of resonated with me. So it'll be interesting to see. I'll probably get some more stuff back next week, and probably towards the end of next week, start of next week, it should be locked and loaded, I'd say.
Oh, awesome stuff. Hey, so you said you're going to do your own podcast. Well, off the show, you told me you're going to do your own. Are you going to do like an interview one, or are you going to do yourself, or?
To be honest, I think from the people that I've been listening to, it's just about creating content and adding value. Like I think everyone's got a platform. Like I just want to have a chat to as many people that want to kind of have a chat. Like I think if you can have a genuine chat with somebody, there's always going to be a time and place where that person's going to add value. They've all been through something in their life. There's going to be that point where people, have that alignment and whatnot, and you can take something away. And just as an example, like one of my best mates that I touched on earlier that I went into the Navy with, he had a bit of a struggle. He went through testicular cancer. And yeah, for me, it's like I want to have a chat with him at some stage because, obviously he's gone through something and whatnot. And it's not all about those doom and gloom things, but I just think that not enough people, if we can give them a platform to speak, even after that conversation, because I actually had one with him early on and we filmed it, the audio was shit. So I want to have it again. But like he literally broke down in tears and, and he probably hasn't had that opportunity to have that discussion with anyone before. So that's something that, regardless if it was filmed, like we got to have that special moment in time where he got to just probably release how he was really feeling and have that chat. And that's what it's all about. Like, that's why I want to try and get in touch with as many people as possible. But also, like, I want to document, like, how this came about, or also just speaking to people that are, great with business or sports, something I'm hugely passionate. But like I say, I really don't think it matters too much about who's there because every single person has something to offer in some way, shape, or form. And the average Joe or just your average person, just like me, like I think people can resonate with that because there'll be that one thing, yeah, like I say, that I guarantee that what they've done and the other person has done, they're going through the same thing. So, and they can just talk about how they've got through that or whatever it may be.
Where can people find you online, your content and everything?
So I'm on YouTube. I haven't been doing much because I'm doing this all on my own. It's been very difficult to get some of that longer format stuff out. So I'm on YouTube. If you type in Better Than Before, it'll come up. Also on Instagram as well. So it's under BETTR.than_before, or if you type in Better Than Before anyway, it seems to come up. I'm under Facebook on my personal name. Like at the moment, I don't really care if people want to add me there. I'm just waiting for the logo to be done, but then I'm going to try and create that community page there. So that's under SAM Ringdale, RINGDAHL. And then TikTok's the same as Instagram. So BETTR.than.before. So, but again, if you type in Better Than Before, because I think some of the videos have gone all right, you shouldn't be too hard to find me anyway.
Any words of wisdom or anything that you'd like to leave with the audience before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think, I mean, like as this podcast, it's something that I've wanted to do, and I've been put myself in a position to make it happen for myself, and I'm forever grateful for giving me the opportunity to come on here. My heart was beating a million miles an hour at the start, and and now I'm feeling more confident, and that's the thing. You just got to start somewhere, and I think that what I'd love to say is that people should go out of their way more often to say hello to somebody, or um, a, you're going to get something out of it. It's going to make you feel good. But B, you could literally save somebody's life by just saying hello. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what opportunity that could A, create for them, B, create for you. And I just think that too often people are walking past the mirror and not being proud of what they see, and not be willing to front up and make those decisions, or fully commit to themselves. And so yeah, that's what my brand's all about. I'm trying to create that better culture. So absolutely, if there's things you want to change and you don't feel comfortable telling anybody else, you can 100% come through and talk to me, and I'll always try my best to not ghost anyone and get in touch. But all I can say is life's a beautiful thing. The sooner you realize that the better. Commit to yourself, and don't worry if you lose friends from it, if you lose family from it. You need to do what's best for you at the end of the day, and not worry about what anyone else thinks. And the sooner you can do that, the better. And you'll live a life of happiness. And again, too, is just figure out what your life of happiness is. Figure out what your values are. You probably have some idea. Set goals, and be as aspirational as you feel you want to be. Don't sell yourself short. There is no ceiling. Shoot for the moon and land in the stars. And I guess let's get to work every day. Let's be better than before.
That was awesome. Awesome words. Hey, well, thanks for coming on the show. Did you have fun?
Oh, absolutely. I loved every bit of it. And I'll remember it for the rest of my life that, you came through and gave me that opportunity. And yeah, I just hope, well, I know that you're going to do great things. I think you're trying to create opportunities for yourself, and you'll have a fan in me for the rest of your life anyway. So thank you very much for the opportunity. It's been a pleasure, and I can't wait to see what's to come for you.
Oh, thank you very much. Oh, well, yeah, well, that's a wrap. I'd like to thank Sam again for coming on the show, and I'd like to thank you, the listener, for listening. Please tell a friend about the podcast. Have a fantastic day. All right, bye.